Welcome to the Soulful Parenting Podcast, hosted by Ambra Redrick.
Welcome back to the Soulful Parenting Podcast. My name is Ambra Redrick, and when I'm not serving as the CEO at Teen Hype, I get the opportunity to sit on a couch and talk to delightful parents, and today is no exception. I have two beautiful parents here, and I get to learn about their baby boy. Hi, Terry and Shea.
Hi, Amber.
Hey, Miss Red.
I am super excited because I have always wanted to know about this love story and how the prince was created and all the things. So thank you for being here.
Glad to be here.
So tell me about your beautiful family.
Well, Shea and I have been married for 10 years now. May 30th, 2015. We dated for about 7 years before then.
Okay.
And, you know.
My mom introduced us. Terry was friends with my mom first. They were in like this business group thingy. And she's like, there's this really kind guy there. And I believe you guys will have so much in common. You like the same things. And I'm like, no, thank you. I feel like you're trying to fix me up. I'm good.
Because she was living the life of a single lady in Detroit. And
Still
then
in my 20s.
And then on my side, again, we were friends. And every so often she would say, you know, I've got a daughter. I'm not trying to hook you up, but I think you guys have a lot in common. And I was like, well, to be honest, I never said this to her, but I'm like, I don't know what your daughter look like. I don't know. And then one day she flipped her phone and said, well, you know, here's my daughter. And I said, yes, you can give your daughter my number.
That just shows how long ago that was. Did you hear what he said? She flipped her phone.
And so from that point, it was 2 weeks. And then I was going over to a friend's house that just pulled up in front of his house. And she called. And so
I finally called, and I'm like, because she would just like, are you going to call? Are you going to call? I'm not attempting to hook you up. You both like doing the same things. And I'm like, hi, guy. My mom wanted me to call you. And we talked for hours.
We talked for a couple hours. So then I go into my friend's house at that point, and he was like, dude, where were you at? I said, I just had like the best conversation like I've had in a very long time. And then at that point, we just started to hang out. And I knew immediately that she was my wife. She did not know. She did not know immediately that I was her husband. And so then began the courtship, on again, off again, until we both realized
what are we doing? I'm like, girl, that's a good man. You're not getting no younger.
Good man, Savannah.
I said, if he talk about marriage one more time, I'm gonna be like, let's do it. And he talked about it again. I'm like, let's rock and roll. And here we are. 10 years later, or 15 or 17 or many years later.
Many years later.
Yes.
So tell me about the children.
So we have one boy, Bo James.
Yes.
He'll be 3 years in July. And then we have a about to be 6-year-old Shih Tzu, Sophia, who she was our first daughter, if you will.
Yes, because we were married for many years and we are no spring chickens. So we were just spontaneous dates, traveling, living our lives. And then God said, you know what? I don't care that you're 45. It's time for you to be a mama. And
surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
Wow.
And that's a funny story because it was around Christmas of 2021. And Shea was just like, I don't like no.
So I thought it was a COVID shot because I had got the COVID shot. I felt weird. And then I got my booster and I felt more weird. And other women were having the same effect. So I'm like, this thing is wreaking havoc on my body. Like something ain't right. And Tara's like, just take a test. I'm like, for what? Test for what?
And so that was my first experience. God, actually buying a pregnancy test. So I called a friend of mine, a colleague, Carmen, I need to go get a pregnancy. So she went with me to actually go and purchase a pregnancy test.
You bought like 15 pregnancy tests. And he's like, just take the test. I'm like, no, I'm good. And then one morning I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to take this test. And I just kept taking tests over him. Like,
You're the same answer.
Right.
So now
and then I woke him up and was like, "Good morning, Terry. Here's 15 pregnancy
So
tests."
now I have a Ziploc bag of pregnancy tests in my drawer to commemorate the
3
fact
years
that
ago.
from 3 years ago.
That is so
That's
cool.
how it happened. And our parents, our family, they cried so many tears of joy because they probably, just like us, never thought. And like, it wasn't like that we didn't want kids, but we didn't plan for it. Like, I would check in with him ever so often, like, "You good?" Because, I mean, if we're going to do this, we may need some intervention. So we have to take this seriously. And here, like, you know what? We have a good life. Life is good. We're traveling. Life, things, our careers, everything. And yeah, and God said, "Here's Bo James."
And it wasn't that I
Bo
didn't want
James.
kids. I just knew that if it was meant to be, it was going to be. And I have faith that if the good Lord saw it fit for us to be parents, then we would be. We did suffer a loss like 2 years before that.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, that was like well, maybe it's not meant to be. And then out of nowhere, here you go.
Here come Bo.
Mhm.
Who picked the name?
So that's another funny story. So, you typically only see a primary physician annually.
Okay.
But I have hypothyroidism, so I have a prescription for that. And so I checked in with him, just like a virtual visit, to let him know I need my prescriptions refilled. And I'm like, "Oh, by the way, I'm expecting." And he was like, "What do you guys have?" And I'm like, "Oh, we found out we're having a boy. We had a few names picked out." And he was like, "Have you ever considered the name Bo, short for Beauregard, meaning like strong, handsome gentleman?" And I'm like, "No." Like, why would I consider that name? And then I told Terry, I'm like, "I like that name, Bo." And then because his dad's middle name is James, and James is a family name on both sides for Terry.
Okay.
And I'm like, "What about Bo James? I like that." And it stuck. And
so
Terry liked it too.
I really like Beauregard. So I'm like, that's a powerful name. That's a strong name. And I've got educator friends, and they said, "Terry, like, just think about it. You might go to the teacher and tell them his name is Bo James. On the first day of school, they're going to call him by his government name. And do you want him to have to be addressed as Beauregard Whitfield?"
And I'm like, that's just a lot.
That would just be a
Lot of
lot for
letters.
a first through senior in high school. So I relented, and Bo James that's his name.
Well, it is a beautiful name.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
What kind of parents are you?
I feel like we are very much today's parents. I can definitely say we're not our parents' parents.
Yeah.
Because like we're considerate of his feelings and his emotions. We don't because I said so, because he's in the Y phase, and we're not because I said so, or like but we do discipline him, but I would say we're like, it's a fine line between discipline and gentle parenting.
I would say it's like conscious parenting.
Conscious parenting.
And the consciousness comes from, I'm appreciative of how my parents raised me, and they were they're very much like, do as I say, not as I do. Like, this is why. And that got me to where I am right now. And I also know the deficits of, I didn't get the social emotional support that I know young people need at the various adolescents and through their development. And so for me, it's like, how do I take the role of a sensei, of a Jedi, and just be there with him and help him to process, help him to think through, and also understand that I am your father. Like, I brought you in this world, I will take you out, but we don't bring, but it is always undergirded with, like, I love you, you're my man. Like, how do we get through this? Because the world in which he's going to grow up in is something that I've never experienced. So it's not so much just the technical aspects, but it's also the internal, like, how do you treat a woman? How do you be respectful? How do you really use your drive to get you to spaces, but doing it with integrity and honor, so that those things that I know to be true of, like, what it means to be a Whitfield, that he's getting, but then also the way that Shea goes about it, she's loving and caring.
We were raised both like in extremely loving households, so I'm not taking away from that. But it was both. It was different. Our parents parented us differently, and I feel like that is beneficial to our family, but to Bo. But then also, just like from when we were kids, like what studies have proven since then, and like what Terry said, like what Terry studies, or even books that we've read when we found out we were having a kid. Like, you learn, and just as the world turns, like, you learn as you go. So I feel like that's been very beneficial. I mean, we're only barely 3 years into this, so of course we're not experts, but he's like a really cool, intelligent little kid. So I feel good about where he's going.
You like it so far, so good.
Yes,
I
yes.
just feel like there's a spirit of continuous improvement that we bring to how is our energy how is he reacting to our energy, how is he reacting like individually, and then how is he reacting to our energy. So I know, like, for myself, it's being mindful that how he sees me treat her will go a long way to how he then interacts with and engages with people in general, but also the females that might come into his life, potential partners that'll come into his life. So I'm mindful of like just that.
And that's very true, because with Terry's parents, they're the cutest. And his dad, they still date. Oh, like, they have the best like relationship between them, and his dad is very much loving, caring, and like very much a gentleman towards his mom. Like, chivalry is not dead, and like Terry, he treats me like a princess. And I know it's because of that. So, because he had a great example, and I get to reap the benefits.
Yeah. How has both surprised you?
Every day. It's just like, I think the biggest shock is how parents tell us that it happens so quickly, and that he surprises us every day, because it is happening so quickly. Like, his language, his learning, the things he knows, like, you feel like you're teaching him something. Like, I'm not sure if he's catching on, but then he'll use it in a sentence, or he'll tell you, that's not a full circle, that's a semicircle. Like, you were listening. Like, he knows, like, he's very intelligent, but it's always like his language, things he says, and his sense of humor, I feel like, is always just and just his changes. Like, you know how you're with technology, you see all these memories pop up on your social media, or even your phone creates those little memories. And I'm like, he did just look like this a couple months ago. And now it's like he's developing into a kid, and he's not a baby anymore. So I'll say those things.
He is independent in a way that I find like awesome. Like, he can just independently play by himself, be by himself, be with himself, and be okay. He can be away from us. So we took a trip up north, was gone for 3 days. And for the first 2 days, he didn't ask about us. I don't think, like, he was perfectly fine.
Terry didn't take that so well.
I didn't at all. Talking about, you don't miss me, like, you don't miss our routine, you don't miss. He was just, because he was there with somebody, with his aunt, and he loves his aunt. They got a great relationship. So,
and she stayed at our house, so he was in his space, so he felt comfortable.
But his independence and his ability to, the way that he processes information, like Shea mentioned, he can hear a song a couple of times, and before you know it, he'll start repeating it. He knows what he likes, he knows what he doesn't like, which is helpful for me. It's maddening for me, but it's helpful for me because he lets us know what he likes and what he doesn't like. And I appreciate that we have a space that allows for him to voice that, because again, growing up, no, you like what I want you to like. No, you know, this is what you have on your plate. You're going to eat this. You're going to sit there and finish it. And I think for us, I know for us, we want to create a space where he can feel comfortable speaking honestly and truthfully to us. Because if he can't feel that with us, then what does that mean for how he'll interact with the world when he's outside the house?
This season is about champions, parents showing up as champions. What does that mean to you two? And how have you served as his champion?
When I think about parents showing up as champions, it's making sure that the spaces and the people that are around him understand like who he is, how to be around him. If we see a misstep or a misspeak, like correcting them, like, no, that's not how, which can be difficult at times, because sometimes it's my mom, like, Ma, it's okay, he's good. Like, she'll be real quick to say, because I said so. I'm like, no, Mama, like, it's okay. And then show her, like, Bo, it's because of this, it's because of this, it's because of this. It's really helping to inform people how to best engage with our son. And the more that we get practice with it now, as he goes into preschool, as he goes into first grade, like, we'll be better at championing what it means to educate and to bring their best selves to our son.
And I feel like all of those things Terry said. And also because Terry has like experience in this department as far as like researching early childhood stuff, it's helped me too. But I just feel like just making sure people know things about him. Like he goes to a nanny pod with 3 other 2-year-olds. So it's 2 boys and 2 girls. They're all the same age, and they have a daily curriculum, circle time, story time, like he's in school. But making sure we reinforce that at home, like we teach him as much as he possibly can. And I feel like even though he's only 2 going on 3, he knows a lot. I try not to brag about him because I know there's a lot of parents with kids my age that aren't there yet. But he knows so much. Like he knows his ABCs, letter sounds. He can count to 50. He knows shapes, dinosaurs, construction. Like he can name all these things. And so I think it's important for us to focus on that and keep feeding into him in that way and make sure we don't fail him. Because, as a boy and as a little black boy, he can get bored. Like if he's smart and he's learning and we're limiting that, I don't want any trouble when it comes to like his behavior and things like that. So we just have to make sure we're constantly feeding into him and make sure he's in the spaces where he needs to be.
And from birth, he was born with a rare form of cancer, Langerhans histiocytosis. And so we had to, from the beginning, champion how doctors were engaging with him, how they were communicating to us what we needed to know. And the blessing is that it's called congenital Langerhans histiocytosis. So he was born with it.
Right.
So the likelihood of him growing out of it was high. But we didn't know that until almost a year later.
Exactly.
And
so he officially went into remission at 12 months, which was like, so can you just imagine like we're finally having a kid later in life, like this is happening. And then literally like 6 days later, he was diagnosed.
Oh my gosh. So while you were carrying him?
So when he was born, the cancer... When he was born, it displayed itself like little lesions literally all over his skin. It almost looked like little scrapes, right? All over his entire body. So they kept him in the NICU that weekend. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. They're like, you'll see a specialist. We'll have you see this U of M specialist in a month or 6 weeks. And just sent us home. But when you have a baby, you have to see the pediatrician like within 2 days.
Yeah.
So we found the doctor immediately, his first doctor visit, and she was concerned. And when I saw she was concerned, we got concerned. So she was like, you mind if I like take photos of this and send to our pediatric dermatologist just for a second opinion? And she did. And the dermatologist responded quickly and said, can we come back tomorrow at 8 a.m.? So, we're like freaking out. And she did a biopsy. That was like he was 4 days old, and we got it back that Friday. And that was a lot. That was heavy.
And so by being a parent in that moment is when I realized like being a champion, being his champion was like first and foremost.
And
it wasn't
just think, if none of that wouldn't have happened, like we would have just been worried, even though it didn't stop the worry, but it just helped us to have an idea or to even research what was happening to him. Because otherwise they said, you'll see someone that can tell us what this is in 6 weeks. Like, because they were clueless. And so after like finding out what it was, we learned that childhood cancers display themselves in the skin. Like, even if it's leukemia, any type of childhood cancer, a lot of times it shows up on the skin first. So, yeah, it was a rough couple of months.
But it was a good opportunity to this question around what does it mean to be a champion in general. And we had the ability to do it specifically with his care in that moment. And that just has transcended, just how we interact with him and how we engage with the adults that come into contact with him.
Exactly.
So if someone, if a nurse or a medical professional wasn't treating him well, which one of you are more likely to address it?
Sure.
Oh, definitely me. I mean, I feel like that. And it's not just Bo, it's Terry. Anybody I care about, like, what needs to happen?
It's the mama bear in her. That for me is okay, what do we need to do? The initial checking of, wait a minute, this isn't right. You're not speaking. Like, that has always been Shea.
And if you know anything about Terry, like his personality. So I do need to be like, hold on, what's happening? So the same way with Terry. Like, no, Terry. So we're not going to do.
So a year later, you find out he's in remission.
Yes.
How'd you celebrate?
they gave us a certificate. He rang the bell. And I want to say we like had some good food and probably a dance party because he was walking by 10 months. But like, we just always find reasons to celebrate with our circle. We're really close to both our sets of parents, our siblings, and a few of my aunt and cousin. Like, it's like 10 or 12 of us. And we find reasons to celebrate, and we celebrate everything. So we celebrated well. And then even at the pod, they like did a thing for him, like blew up a bunch of balloons and made a big deal about him at the pod. It was beautiful. So, yeah.
That's cool. Tell me, in order to do this well, you have to champion in your marriage. So how do you do that?
So we are intentional about finding time for us. And it's been amazing how we've been able to do that. So when Bo was first born, we would do cooking time. What was cooking with
Tuesday, Tasting Tuesday. So we would try cook new recipes, and I got a little bit of a social media following from being on TV. So we would do these segments where we would like try new recipes, cook them together, and then taste them at the end.
Okay.
And then now what that has morphed into is Tyler Free Tuesday. So now that he's at daycare, and for both of our schedules, entrepreneurs, so we make our own schedule. So now it's on our calendars Tuesdays between 1 and 3.
We find time.
So we either go to the museum or go get lunch or just do something together. Where we can just be in our space together. Making sure that we can find time to go out of town. So this was our second opportunity being out of town, just us two
together,
and
without Bo.
without Bo, and just how rejuvenating that is to our relationship. And then I would just constantly being in connection with each other,
checking in.
Yep, just how you doing. Shea is very. Her empathy level is very high, so she always knows when something is off with me, even when I don't want to admit it. I'm always like saying, like, I know if things are going on with her, just always checking in, like, how are you doing? And then creating space. Like sometimes she just needs space to herself. Sometimes I just need space to myself. But then always finding time just to get back together.
What has Bo taught you?
I feel like with Terry, Bo has taught you to slow down.
Yeah, patience.
Because Terry just... just go. And it's one sweet thing. So Terry gets Bo out in the morning to get up, ready, lunch pot. And he is so patient with him. Even if Terry has a meeting, he's running late. And he knows rushing Bo, like, that sets his tone for the day. Like how I'm treating you before you go out for your day. And he's a 2-year-old. So he's lollygagging. He doesn't want to put his shoes on. He needs to watch his show. And Terry, I could just see it boiling. But he'll be like, okay, Bo, let's get ready to go. Like, he just slows down. And that's one thing I feel like you have benefited from, is just slowing down. For me, he just brings me just joy. Like, he makes me laugh. Like the other night, we did a vow renewal. We had a big, beautiful vow renewal
I did see that on Facebook.
Yes. And so it was like that following day, I was exhausted. And this was like less than a week ago, something like that. And I'm like, I'm going to bed early. I was like, you guys can stay down here. I was like, because Bo is obsessed with going to the pet shop and looking at all the small pets. He loves hamsters and guinea pigs. So I was like, good night, baby hamsters. And he was like, hey, we're not hamsters. We're men. And I'm like, what? Like every day he says something quirky or funny. He just literally like gives me a good belly laugh. At least once a day he's going to say something that I just laugh and laugh and laugh.
To build off of that, Bo forces me to be intentional and deliberate with my language. So like if I know that we have to get out the door, once I see that he's awake, Bo, this is what needs to happen today. Dad, I got a meeting. We got to get moving. You're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. And he'll look at me and say, okay. And I found that to be much more helpful for him when he knows what to expect, which then extrapolate that to adults and people that I work with. Like the more clear I can be with what I want with Shea or with colleagues, the more that they understand my thinking. And so I do have a tendency to be up here and then act as if what's up here has already come out of my mouth. And Shea reminds me of that. Like, you didn't say that. And I say, yes, I did. Like, no, you actually didn't say that. So Bo has encouraged me, forces me to be explicit, because I know that when I'm explicit, he receives it and he moves accordingly.
And it's crazy because it works. Like, I adopted that. Like, if he wants to do something, I know we don't have a ton of time for it, or if it's like his tablet, like he can only see, we typically only allow him to use that when we're traveling or something like that. But like, we'll say like, okay, you have 10 minutes. And like, if we look him in the eye and explain that he has this amount of time, we need to start, give him a little
timer.
Yeah. But he seems to understand it, and it's less of a tantrum in return. He has to show, he'll show you he's disappointed, but he's less likely to just have a tantrum about, because he knows that time is coming.
We go to the pet store, and before we would say, I wouldn't say we've got so much time. But then after a while, okay, we got to go. And he'd be mad. Like, because what do you mean I got to go?
I'm having fun at the pet shop.
So now before we got the car, I put on my timer. All right, Bo, we got 15 minutes. When the alarm goes off, we got to go. Okay. And then when the alarm goes off, Bo, alarm's going off. Okay.
It's weird, but it works.
Well, all right, good.
Yes.
So I got to ask about education, because I know how passionate you are. Are you looking forward to picking a school?
Oh, it's already done.
Look at you. I should have known.
So there are plans, and then you have a plan, and then you adapt and adjust appropriately. So we're blessed that he was able to be in a pod for the first 2 years. About 2 years.
Since right before his first birthday.
Yeah. So that's been great. He's got a better understanding of what it means to be with others.
On a schedule.
Shea was awesome. We've been awesome, but Shea spearheading it in terms of understanding phonics and just phonemic awareness, and what does it mean, how important that is to reading. So he helps the other kids out as they're going through stuff, which is why we're concerned about him just getting bored, because he knows a lot. So he's going to be starting a Montessori school in the fall. So from 3 to 6, he'll be in a Montessori. We've started thinking about what would it mean for him to redshirt his kindergarten year. So just to make sure that, because his birthday being in July, he would be the youngest in his kindergarten class. And so what does it mean for him just to hold off, social emotionally get prepared, and then do kindergarten? We live in Southwest Detroit, so one of the better schools, DPS City Public Schools, Academy Americas, K through 8. It would be great for him to be bilingual when he leaves 8th grade. And then I was blessed to go to University of Detroit Jesuit High School and Academy. So
okay, y'all got this plan.
Yeah. So, but the goal is that the goal is that he can have a variety of experiences with a variety of people. Because coming from Detroit, I benefited from the UAD experience, because in high school, I realized I was not the dominant culture. I realized that I am the minority, and the school helped to remind me of that. So when I went to Western Michigan, it wasn't a shock. It wasn't anything other than, I've been around different people before. I'm just around more different people. And it helped me to understand different cultures, different aspects of what it means to be around different people. And so that's the energy that I'm bringing behind it. Obviously, it's a joint decision. Obviously, we're going to take into account what Shea has to say. But there's at least a roadmap around experiencing a high-quality public school education, experiencing a high-quality parochial education, and then wherever you want to go after that, you're going to do something. Whether it's college, whether it's trades, whether it's entrepreneurship, you're going to do something. But he'll be prepared.
Whether he's an artist or stand-up comedian.
Whatever it is. But he'll be great.
Or a taxi driver.
He'll be great at whatever he does. Because if you want to be a taxi driver, you're going to be the best taxi driver there is. If you're going to be an artist, you're going to be the best artist there is. And we'll be here to support you. And you'll always have a key to the house.
He will?
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay.
You'll always have a key to the house.
A few rapid fire questions.
Please.
A movie that every child must see.
I'm going to say, and it's just because of where he's at right now, Paw Patrol, the first movie.
Oh yeah, it was a story there.
Because the story was the lead, I won't say the lead character, but the lead puppy, Chase, has a challenge with his confidence, like being confronted with his former life and former experiences and former trauma, and the importance of community and helping him get through it. So it's just amazing how that occurs with puppies.
I'm going to say The Last Dragon from 1985.
The Last.
He hasn't watched The Last Dragon yet.
No, but he will.
He will, but he hasn't watched it yet.
It's Bruce Leroy.
She know him.
He got the glow.
I got the glow. Who's the master?
I saw that recently.
Sure
I
enough.
did. I saw
That's
it
a
recently, and I
classic.
had to explain the whole thing to Jeff. My significant other is Kenyan, and he's like, "What is this?
What do you have me? That's probably the same reaction I'll get from Bo. Hopefully he won't pick up too many crazy karate skills from it. But there's a story there.
I wanted him to watch Reservoir Dogs, but
He has to
realized
wait until he
we had to wait
graduates.
for that.
That's too much.
8th grade, maybe
Language.
6th grade.
Maybe 10th.
Okay.
Best parenting advice you've gotten?
Enjoy the process. Oh yes, enjoy the process in so much that before you know it, you don't know when the last time
Oh,
of
yeah.
something will come about.
That's
So
what we've been
enjoying
dealing
every
with.
moment.
Yes, just taking in every moment. And just literally like without your phone, without photos, videos, just take time to like take in every moment. Like look around, how you feeling, how the baby, how just take in those moments because it just literally flashes by.
Record the voice because the
Yes,
voice
the
has
voice
changed.
changed so quickly.
Mhm.
Record the voice.
Mm-hmm.
I do
Yeah.
interview him.
Do you?
Yes.
Oh, that's precious. Oh my goodness. Okay, so last question.
Mhm.
Tell me if your family had a theme song, what would it be?
If we had a theme song.
Clearly, something
no,
came to
the
mind.
picture- the
Something
picture
not
that's-
appropriate. That's why Terry is
No, the
laughing.
picture because it's so Big
Kendrick
Sean.
Lamar.
No, I said Big Sean Precision.
Yeah, that was our song.
Yeah, and it's still a song that right now when Bo hears it,
He gets hyped. I would say Big Sean Bigger Than Me. That
Yeah.
always gets me because it is
Mhm.
bigger than me. It's about
Uh-huh.
my family. It's
Yep.
about my baby. It's about these kids in Detroit. Like anything I do, I'm not gonna cry because I get sensitive about it. But I just always want kids like to know like you don't have to go down this. Like there's many opportunities in many different aspects. Just like the boys here today. Like the fact that they know this is an option for their career. Like it's bigger than me. They need to see an example of someone that looks like them from where they came from to know like it can happen. So everything I do if I'm in front of the camera or not, that is bigger than me.
and for Bo to understand that from a service perspective, from a what is your role in this society perspective, particularly in a society that is very much me centric.
Mhm.
What can I get out of this? For him to come like really be immersed in this service leadership is not about you.
It's not about you.
How do you be a man for others? This is bigger than this moment. So how do you show up appropriately?
So
Okay, I'll get
Big
bigger than
Sean
me.
bigger than me.
Big Sean
That's
bigger
the
than me.
song.
Yep.
All right, let's leave Bo a love note. So if he watches this episode,
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
what do you want him to know?
Bo, you have been designed for accomplishment, engineered for success, and endowed by our Creator with the seeds of greatness. You've got everything you need to do great things. Believe in yourself, and you'll make it happen.
Woo. I'll just say to Bo that I'm thankful for him being a true blessing in our lives and for changing our lives for the better and making us better people. And we love you and appreciate you for that.
We love you, Bo.
Bo, you have awesome parents. You are such a blessed baby. Such a blessed baby. Thank you. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming
It's
and
great.
visiting. and hanging.
Awesome.
This was wonderful. I see why y'all love each other. I love black love. I do.
Can I
just
take a
wanna
nap?
drop some
Can I
more
take
babies on
can I
porch.
take a nap on the couch?
And you
It's very
absolutely
comfortable.
can.
It is
Okay.
comfortable here.
It's
We'll
just-
come back anytime you want to.
Yeah, just let us know.
You should. That's it.
Bam.